This right here, oops, oh my God, what happened? This right here is one of the first technical card tricks I ever learned, but with a twist. So here we go. First thing I need are the 4 aces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I can hand the deck off to the spectator, and he can shuffle up the cards to his heart's content, just like this. Once a heart has been contented, maybe even a couple of cuts. That should do fine. Now what's going to happen is normally I give the aces to the spectator so they can take a look at them, examine them if they like. But in this case, it truly doesn't matter. The aces are fine. So we have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 aces. I'm going to take those 4 aces, leave them face down onto the table. I'm going to shuffle them up just a little bit here and there so you don't know which ace is which. Now I want you to go ahead and touch the back of any one of these aces, and completely free will, by the way. The ace you pick will deal 3 random cards on top of that ace. So let's just say you pick this one. Deal 3, 1, 2, 3 random cards. And I'm going to take the other 3 aces, and I'm going to lose them somewhere near the bottom, near the center, and near the top of the deck. Just like this. Push all those cards in and even give the deck maybe a few cuts. 1, 2, 3. If you're not satisfied with that, 1, 2, 3, right? 3 and 3. We're all set to go. Now, at this point, we've selected 1 ace and then we put 3 random cards right behind it. What card, which ace did you pick? Ace of diamonds, clubs, spades, hearts, which one did you pick? Right, just say it out loud. Just let me hear you. Oh wait, I can't hear you. Don't matter what you say, right? Gotta think about that. But I'm just kidding. We can validate your answer by taking a look. You pick the ace of clubs. I absolutely hate that guy. You know, I absolutely hate that guy. So I hate looking at his face. We have the ace of clubs here, and then we have the 3 random cards. Now this is where it gets good, because if I put the 3 random cards here and I snap my fingers, you can see the 3 random cards turn into the other 3 aces. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your opponents, and captivate audiences. To give you some background on this effect, it's known as To The Point by Harry Lorraine, and it's very similar to the 4 Jacks bank robber trick, which is actually one of the first technical tricks I ever learned, and I was terrified of performing it, because I didn't want to mess up. But the one aspect that makes this trick tricky is that the spectator selects where the cards are dealt. So before we dive right into the tutorial, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get ready to fool all your friends. Now grab your favorite deck, and let's do it. Welcome to the tutorial, my friends. For those of you who are curious, by the way, these are the Game of Thrones playing cards by Theory 11. Now, for this trick, I'd probably rate it at a high-level beginner or low-level intermediate type effect, just because of everything I'm about to describe. So diving right into it, first thing, of course, you need are the 4 aces. Of course, there's no setup involved aside from grabbing the 4 aces, which can be done right in front of the spectator. You grab the 4 aces and allow the spectator to shuffle up the deck, right? If they shuffle it up, it really doesn't matter, but it gives them some sense of control in their life. So 4 aces, we have the deck shuffled up. Now at this point, I like to hand these aces off to the spectator, and the one thing you can say is people always want to examine the cards as I'm doing the trick. So here you go, take a look at the 4 aces and make sure there's nothing wrong with them, right? Now either you can go with that approach, which I feel like works, or you can just say, here I have the 4 aces, and spread them out on the table. Whichever one you choose, either one works fine. Now as you're using that as misdirection to grab a break underneath the top 3 cards of this deck. So the way that I grab a break is I do a pinky count. I use my pinky to count 1, 2, 3 cards, and I grab a break like this. Now I have a full-on tutorial on the pinky count. I'll put the link on the screen. If that's not something you're comfortable with yet, I'd recommend handing these aces off to the spectator, letting them examine it, and count those 3 cards with their thumb. Of course, try not to look directly down at the deck, because that's kind of a giveaway that you're doing something weird. Just try to be very casual about grabbing those 3 cards, and you're all set to go. Either method you want to pick, pinky count, much better choice. So as soon as this is done, you take these 4 aces and put them face up on top of your packet. So now this is a packet of 7. What you're going to do now is get into a biddle grip with these top 7 cards. So your thumb is going to replace the pinky on the bottom here. And these 2 fingers, middle finger and ring finger, are going to grab the cards up here. Using your thumb, you're going to slide off this card. So grab with my thumb here. I also apply a little bit of pressure on the back with my ring finger and middle finger. So I grab this card, slide it off just like this, and then use this packet to turn this card over like that. Slide it off like this, and you do this with 3 of the aces. So that was ace number 2, that's ace number 3. Then drop this whole packet and pick up the 1 single card, which is the last ace, and turn that face down. What that's really just done is it's taken 1 ace, left that on top, put 3 random cards between this top ace and the other 3 aces, right? This is ultimately where you want to be. Now what you want to do is deal off the top 4 cards of the deck and say that you're dealing off the 4 aces face down on top of the table. Of course, only the first card is the ace, so that's something you want to keep in mind. Now, there are 2 different outcomes to this effect. We'll cover the first outcome first because it's the simplest. Generally, what you want to do is you want to position the ace, because remember, these 3 are random cards. You want to position this ace to be the second card from the right from the spectator's perspective. So from the spectator's perspective, the second card from the right would be this card. Okay? I did it differently in my performance just because I picked this card and I didn't want to do the, I guess the cheap method that I can easily get away with. So, right, I can shuffle up these cards, and ultimately, like I said, you want to end up with this card here. If they manage to select this card, and of course you tell them that you can go ahead and pick any one of these cards completely free will, and we're going to deal 3 random cards on top of the card that you select. So, the first situation is where they actually select the ace, and you deal 3 cards on top of it. So, if they pick the ace, you deal these 3 cards, take the random cards, put them near the bottom, 1 near the center, 1 near the top, push them all in. You can shuffle this pile up, snap your fingers, give it a couple of cuts, and then you can square all these together, snap your fingers, magic wave, and say, here we have the 4 aces. So that was the first outcome, right? Fairly straightforward. Now let's go into outcome number 2, right? We have 1 ace face down, and we have those 3 random cards. 3 aces are on top of the deck. And let's just say our ace, again, is second from our left here. Let's say the spectator picks one of the other cards. The spectator picks this card here, which is a random card. So you're going to take and deal, these are the aces of course, the 3 aces. You tell the spectator, I'm going to take and deal 3 random cards on top of this card. And now you're going to grab the cards in this order. You can grab any of the other 2 cards first. You want to make sure you grab the ace last. Grab one of the cards, put it near the bottom of the deck. Grab another card. This is, again, not the ace. Put it near the center of the deck. And grab the ace this time. Of course, you don't show that to the spectator. And put it somewhere near the top. And by somewhere near the top, I'd recommend putting it second card from the top. So what I do is I riffle off 2 cards. 1, 2, just like this. And insert the card at that location. And then I push them all in, right? So there's the ace. These 2 are random cards. Push that all in. The next move you want to pull off is a double undercut. And the whole purpose behind this move is to move this 1 card from the top of the deck to the bottom of the deck, just to feel like the deck is being shuffled up. If you don't want to do that, however, you can, instead of putting this ace second from the top or third from the top, you can just put it second from the top and you're all set to go. So whatever method you want to use, I use a double undercut, or I could even use an overhand shuffle. I take a break right underneath the top card like this, break off half of the packet here on the bottom, or a third of the packet here on the bottom, break off another third here on the bottom, and then take the rest of these cards from here, put it on top. Again, what that's done is it's moved the ace to the second position from the top. You can just put it in the second position to start with, completely up to you. So we have this all ready to go. Once this is done, I just like to say I shuffle up the cards. The aces are now lost somewhere in the deck. Now I'm going to grab these cards, and as I'm picking them up, I'm sharing some kind of pattern with this trick. I pick these cards up and I ask them, what ace do you think you selected? As I'm gesturing with this hand towards them, this is where they're looking, I'm going to grab another break below the top 2 cards of the deck now. What ace do you think you selected? They take a second to think. They say, I don't know, ace of clubs. You say, okay, let's validate. Take these 4 cards, put them on top of this packet here. This should now be a packet of 7 cards. Turn this whole thing face up. Oh, it's not 7 cards, sorry. This should be a packet of 6 cards. Turn this whole packet face up and say the ace you selected is the ace of diamonds. Take this card and deal it onto the table. Now the next card is going to be a random card, which is perfect because you dealt 3 random cards on top of the ace. So you say there's the 1 ace and we have 3 random cards. As I say, and I have 3 random cards, I take this packet of 5 cards, or how many cards are there? Yeah, take this packet of 5 cards and turn it all face down together. Of course, they should think that's a packet. It's a packet regardless, but they think it's a packet of 3, where in fact it's a packet of 5. Turn that all face down, deal off the top 3 cards, magic wave, snap, insert magic effect here, and reveal the other 3 cards happen to be the 3 aces. They all came together. And that was outcome number 2. For more tricks by Harry Lorraine, click on this video right over here and you will learn something new. As always, a huge shout out to all my Patreon producers, and thank you, love you, see you soon.